Hey friends, welcome to this week's episode of Not Your Mama's Podcast. And today's special guest is Stephanie Dalfonzo, a seasoned integrative hypnotist with 19 years of expertise. And she is on a mission to empower individuals of all ages to conquer stress and anxiety through the transformative science of self-hypnosis. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I cannot wait to dive into our topic.
I know. And you and I, even before you hit record, you and I had already dived into, oh, how can we do this little simple shift? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? And we just need to take time to sit and reflect with ourselves. And we were talking about earlier, people get all caught up in like it needs to be hard, but it's really only very simple. And with hypnosis, is often misunderstood. So could you clarify the common misconceptions that hypnosis and mind control can explain and expand the natural state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility it actually involves?
So I'll answer it with a question to start. Have you ever driven somewhere, Christina, and you get there and you don't remember the drive?
Yes, yeah, sometimes, yeah.
You were in highway hypnosis, my dear. Literally, when my daughter was 16, she came home for driver's ed one night. She's like, Mom, we were talking about highway hypnosis because it's a naturally occurring phenomenon. So people think that I used to walk into the local networking events, and there was always this guy, Tom, and he'd go, watch out, she's going to make you bark like a dog, cluck like a chicken, because he was afraid. It didn't matter what I said. He was so afraid that I was going to be able to control his mind. And he doesn't realize that I had no power.
Yeah.
I wish I had known this when my kids were younger, that no, I can't control them, but that's another story. So another way of looking at a common experience of hypnosis is whether it's playing a game or just scrolling on your phone and you're so into it and somebody's calling you from the other room and you don't hear them because you're so focused. It's a state of hypnosis. So it's a naturally occurring state. It's none of the stuff, the stuff we see on the TV and the movies. It's intentionally supposed to be entertaining, right? They wouldn't find what I do entertaining because I'm not making people bark like a dog or
Yeah.
forget their name. And like, if you've ever been to a stage show, and I'm saying not just to you, Christina, but anybody who's listening, if you've ever been to a stage hypnosis show, there's going to be fun things. And oh my
Yeah.
gosh, there's usually some alcohol involved. So you're a little loosened up, right? And then you see this person, what's your name? And if it was you, Christina, on the stage, you'd be like, I, I don't know. And you think, oh my gosh, how did they do it? Because you were in this heightened state of suggestibility.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that 6 months later, if I asked you, oh, hi, nice to meet you, what's your name? You'd be like, I don't know. No, it's just for during that show.
Mhm.
So, people people get caught up in that thinking that that's what it is. And I did get trained to be a stage hypnotist, but
Mhm.
that's not what I want to do because I'm
Yeah,
much more into empowering people.
exactly. You have this upcoming master class and you mentioned unlocking like the inner calm through self-hypnosis. Like, can you explain how self-hypnosis provides access to one's inner strength, wisdom, and even their own confidence?
Great question, Christina. And all of what you just said, it's already inside us. We just get so busy
Mhm.
with everything that's going on. And especially when you're in your 40s, oh my gosh, I think that that was the busiest time of my life because I had kids, I had my career going, I had aging parents, like all of this stuff. So we forget that these resources are already inside of us.
Mhm.
And I know that you're a tennis enthusiast, right?
Yes, I do
So
love playing tennis.
great. So have you ever been in your mind, like pre-planning, doing a dress rehearsal of a match that you were going to play?
Yeah, and I notice the state of my mind when I'm playing really well versus like when I'm not. Like there's a shift in my brain and I can sense it. I've always been like an athlete and when that brain inside me clicks, like I'm like unstoppable. I'm doing really great. But then I notice when I'm not in that state, I don't do as well. Like I can sense it, and it's amazing. You just really got to life's a mental game. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. That is like, that should be a tattoo on
Yeah.
everybody's forehead, right? So you've already been practicing self-hypnosis. You didn't know, it didn't have that label, right?
Hmm.
Any Olympic athlete, and I'm really like going out on a bit of a limb here, but I truly believe that any Olympic athlete does hypnosis in one form or another,
Hmm.
right? It's just, maybe you call it guided visualization or whatever, but what we mentally dress rehearse becomes our reality. So
Yeah.
if it's that, you're really nervous about, a meeting or something that's coming up, and you keep going in your mind over and over again, you are setting down the tracks that meeting is going to go exactly the way you don't want it to be.
Exactly.
However, and there's science to back all of this up,
Hmm.
when we instead dress rehearse in our mind things going the way we want them to, not like what they showed in The Secret, the movie, where, click your heels 3 times and a Maserati is going to appear in your driveway. It's not that. It's not airy fairy stuff. It's about truly tapping into this incredible computer that we have in our brain that AI has not conquered yet,
No.
right? We
Hmm.
still have more power up here between, our forehead, each side of our forehead. We have more power than any AI has. And it's a question of, how do we tap into that?
Hmm.
One of the first things for me is always about finding your calm and being able to calm, because when we're in a state of reaction, anything that's going to be helpful has already it's gone out the window. So
Hmm.
when we can find our calm, and I'm not talking about, oh, meditate 20 minutes in the morning and meditate again 20 minutes at night. That's nice if somebody can do it, but I still have not been able to master that practice, and I gave up on it years ago, because I figured out that it really is about these simple shifts, right? So when we dip our toe into calm at various points through the day and we're unlocking it, we're pouring it out, it's not getting a chance to build up to the breaking point, which we all have a breaking point.
Hmm.
And mine came when I was smashing a bag of Cheetos because I had developed insomnia. I was, my first career, I was a celebrity radio DJ. I was
Hmm.
doing the morning show. So I was getting up at 3 in the morning, 2 small kids, one still in diapers,
Yeah.
insomnia, meet anxiety, smash. So I was smashing a bag of Cheetos. We all have that breaking point. So really, like, my mission is, let me show you the shortcut, because you don't have to go there.
Yeah. And when we are in that state of calm, we have more creativity in solving the problems that we have. You know what I mean? Because when we're
Yes, I
in a state
do.
of panic, then we start, like you were saying, like we're making like maybe the wrong action to solve the problem. But when we're in a state of calm, like we can come up with more creative solutions, and we're not in like, panic, panic, panic mode. Parents, you need The Addicted Child, A Parent's Guide to Adolescent Substance Abuse by Richard Capriola. It's a must have for understanding teen substance use and learning the warning signs every parent should know. The Addicted Child, A Parent's Guide to Adolescent Substance Abuse by Richard Capriola. And here's the kicker. Richard spills the beans on explaining substance used by today's adolescents and how drugs work in the teen brain. He's even included important warning signs for self-harm and eating disorders and how to find the right help for your teen. And the best part is, you're getting all of these mind-blowing insights without breaking the bank. If you're a parent or know someone who is, this book is going to be your secret weapon. Kindle or paperback, grab your copy on Amazon or go to helptheaddictedchild.com. Insights in this book are pure gold. And spread the word, share the love, and let's empower ourselves with knowledge. So what are some practical, techniques or strategies you can use to help individuals, conquer those limiting beliefs, tap into that success through hypnosis and, stay in that calm state when, things are heightened or you're in that smash crash mode?
Perfect question. Because I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to share this with you." So when we're in that panic mode,
Mhm.
all we can see is what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. That's all we can see. So listeners, really, I'm saying this to you, not like, ooh, I want to go teach my kids this. We're going to put our oxygen masks on first, mamas, because we got to take care of ourselves before we can take care of them. So you stop. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second, Christina. Ooh, it's
Okay, I
okay. It
know.
is not scary. Don't worry. You ask the question. I'm asking you this now. What's right now, Christina?
My life.
What about your life? What's right now in this moment?
That I'm speaking to you, and what's right is that I'm healthy, and starting new adventures, and like, I don't know, I just feel excited about life and just starting new chapters. And so for me right now, like, it's just my life, I
Right.
guess.
Right. And so I can see it. I can see it in your body language. I can hear it in your voice. Like your energy just really went up because when you started looking for gratitude in your life, you were, triggering your body to produce dopamine and serotonin, which are the happy hormones. So
Hmm.
when we think about this is mamas, you got to take care of yourself first. This is for down the road after you've already got this in your repertoire. It's the witching hour. And any mom listening knows exactly when that is. We know when that witching hour is. Oh, wait, stop, time out. What's right now? You break the cycle and then you go to, oh, it's gratitude, right? Literally, again, I love having research to back it up that Sean Acor, happiness researcher, that's his job title. How cool is that, right?
I've seen him speak.
Oh, isn't he amazing?
Yeah, I know he was great. I have a picture with him. Yeah, I know he was great.
I love him. And
Hmm.
he said he researched and found out looking for gratitude drops your cortisol stress levels by 23%.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then we drop out of our head where we're thinking about it, drop into your heart and feel the gratitude like you just did, Christina.
Hmm.
Now we're producing the dopamine and serotonin. So we have this ability inside of us to, in under a minute, oh, what's right now? Well,
Yeah.
what's right now? Oh, all of a sudden, we have forgotten for a moment. We have forgotten about whatever it was that wasn't feeling like it was right.
Hmm.
And it's simple, right? It didn't take you 20 minutes to get there. I
Hmm.
am not into, if it takes 20 minutes in our fast paced society, people aren't going to do it,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
not going to happen. So when we can quickly go into, oh, what's right now and shift things, then we get the chance to respond. And this is also a really important thing to really try and get your head around
Hmm.
is the difference between reacting and responding.
Hmm.
When we're tense, when we're anxious, when we're angry, frustrated, whatever, we're reacting,
Yeah.
right? And I will say, I share my Cheetos story because that was not my finest moment. And I share that so other moms can go, okay, I'm not the only one who's gotten to that point. I want to help you before you get to that breaking point to say, oh, okay, if I can shift this around, I'm having a tough day and I shift it around to, okay, what is right? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I can start responding. And then when we're responding, we're still in our power instead of giving it away by reacting.
Yeah. And it is true. I remember a little bit off topic. I remember being like, okay, I want to give like someone one compliment a day, a genuine compliment, and I started, doing that. And I was like firing out all these, and I felt energized and happy. You know what I mean? Because it was making me feel good, sending out love and light to like other people,
Yes,
it's important to also, be that way, not only for yourself, but the others around you, and it's like, how are you reacting to
yes.
other people? And it's very powerful. And it's like, I'm always like kind of like high energy. So it was like my high energy, like, and then it's like, I just felt everything else would go right in my day,
Yeah, yeah.
feeling that
And
state of euphoria and happiness and stuff.
and that state of euphoria or happiness is not outside us in a pill, a potion, a guru, or a gadget. It's within us. And
Mhm.
so I have these monthly free self-hypnosis master classes to teach you without, like, oh, I don't know about this H word, right? Oh, come and join me. We're going to play and you're going to find out. Again, I'm not into it takes a long time. I want to teach you really quickly how to drop into hypnosis. So as you do this and you can drop in just a couple of minutes and really find your center and find your power,
Yeah.
then, the rest of the day goes in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. And I think the first part of it is just recognizing. And you have to recognize your mind kind of like maybe going a little negative and like correct yourself, and having that strength to be like, I'm not gonna let the gremlin get the best of me. I'm gonna like switch over and I'm gonna, take a breath and I'm gonna think of the positive things, and I love that you're here to help women before they crash and burn, because it's normally when we crash and burn is when we realize we need to do a change, and it's like, why get to that point when we have resources like you to help us, stay level
Because
headed for a while,
because when I hit my breaking point,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like the research. Why I keep saying, well, I love having the research is because when I started this back in the 90s, there wasn't the research to back it up. So the very first thing I learned, and many of your listeners may be familiar with tapping, emotional
Yeah,
freedom.
tapping really helped me.
And it's phenomenal. It was the first thing I learned. But back in the 90s, when I learned it from Gary Craig, who's the founder of emotional freedom techniques, I'm like, ooh, now my radio career was over. And I'm trying to tell people about, wow, there's this new thing I learned that helped me to sleep and calm my anxiety. And it's like acupuncture with needles. And I'm watching people's eyes glaze over like, okay, she's gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
And oh well, because I knew I was getting the relief. And then that led me to, ooh, what else is out there? That's why I call myself an integrative hypnotist, because it's not just hypnosis, it's hypnosis and EFT and this and this. I've been trained in so many different modalities because I've had a couple of people, not a lot, but a couple of people over the years who have come and they've not been impressed or into EFT tapping.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, if that's all I knew, ooh, I wouldn't be able to help them.
Yeah.
So when it's like, okay, all right, well, let's just go over and take this path instead, then it's finding again, I don't believe in one size fits all because it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't with our clothes size. I have, very happy to say, thank you, hypnosis. I have not just dropped 50 pounds, I've kept it off. And I
Yeah.
didn't do some fad diet or, any of that stuff. It was through using my mind.
Yeah.
Right. So one size doesn't fit all. One technique that I share with you isn't going to work for everybody. But like in my book, I have 35 different techniques. And it's not because you have to learn all 35. It's, I even put them in alphabetical order. So you don't even have to read the page. It's only like 100 pages. You don't even have to read the whole book. Go
Mm-hmm.
through the table of contents. Go, what's right now? Let me check. What's that? Oh, pick two or three and
Mm-hmm.
action them. That's the key that kind of trips us up is our society. We're like so instantaneous. We want to just push the button and everything's fine.
Yeah.
But we
If
have to
it's not next day delivered through Amazon, I don't want it. That's
exactly.
gonna take too long.
Exactly. But with our brain, how do we form our habits? Your kids are still little. So you said you have a 2 and a 5-year-old. Is your
Right.
5-year-old riding a two-wheeler? It's still with the training wheels. Where are they
Still
in
with
that?
the training wheels. I need to get him out on the bike more. That's just like my own mom fault. But like
Okay,
he's still on his training wheels.
no fault, my dear. And what you just said, he needs to do it more frequently. That's the point I was getting at.
Yeah.
Habits become habits because of repetition, because we take
Mm-hmm.
them over and over and over again,
Yeah.
right? We can't just say, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out. Oh, let me do what's right now, or this other technique. And then, oh, poof, everything's fine. We have to repeat it because it's the neural pathways. We have, I think, 86 billion neurons in our brain, which are just a fancy name for messengers, right? when we have this experience the first time, these neurons fire off. And every time we repeat it, the same neurons keep firing off. And then we get those deeper and deeper neural pathways. So eventually your son is like, ooh, okay, we're ready to take the training
Yeah.
wheels off because he's practiced enough. So too with these techniques, and why I'm such a stickler about it's got to be simple. It's got to be quick, because if it's not, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's true. And especially in today's society. And, it's so true. Like, how you work out like your body muscle, you have to work out your brain muscle. And how to do
Yes.
that is the repetition and pushing yourself to do those things that you don't want to do, like going to the gym or whatever, and that's how you build that mental strength and you build those
Yes.
habits. And then next thing you know, it's just like riding a bike.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So that's a wrap. You just concisely got my whole message out. Thank you.
All right, Stephanie, it is time for the PowerMom Chronicles, and I cannot wait to dive into this with you and hear your answers. So my first one to you is, what's a game-changing lesson life has taught you?
There's so many. Be present and start where you are.
Yeah, just dive in.
Yep.
It's
Start
true. If you
where you
have
are.
if you have a fear and a desire, just go for it. That's out of everyone that I've been doing this podcast. It's on my third year now, and it's like that's just like one of the messages that I've always kind of felt like I've heard a lot. And it's like that's your calling. Just go for it. It's not going to happen instantaneously because you always have to like learn and grow through like the journey of what your
Yep.
blocks and your wins and successes. But and just go for it. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah, no, I can. That's another life lesson. It will never be perfect, and that's okay.
Yeah. And reflecting on your journey, what practical lessons or insights can our listeners apply to improve their own lives?
Um, be gentle with yourself. I
Yeah.
was so hard on myself. I was definitely judge and jury to myself, and everything it was never good enough, right? I was struggling. I was going to be the perfect mom. And guess what? I wasn't, because there is no such thing as the perfect mom.
Yeah.
So self-compassion, be gentle with yourself, and realize that you're not going to get it right, and you get the choice to, again, dress rehearse. Oh, I'm going to do that again and again and again. Or dress rehearse, I'm going to learn from this and I'll do it differently next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And it's just like you said, it's that mind shift.
Yeah.
Instead of like, woe is me, it's like, well, how can I learn and change? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my third question to you is, offer a piece of wisdom for moms or anyone trying to find their strength and voice.
Oh, I had a different one in mind, and the one that just popped in is the one I've got to share. It's from Brene Brown, and I posted this on social, and I used it in a talk that I gave recently. It is so true that we need to put our oxygen masks on, because gasping for air while offering others CPR is not going to work,
Yeah.
right?
You can't
Think
really
about it.
breathe in your oxygen to them if you can't breathe, right?
Right. And yet, I will tell you that as a young mom, I was that one gasping for air. I think that's why this one has just really landed so deeply in my heart, because I was taking care of everybody else because, that was my job, right? I was supposed to. Got to take care of yourselves. And that's why I love sharing techniques with people, but especially when I'm talking with moms, it's, take care of yourself first, get it into your muscle memory, then you'll have more to give.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then my
Right? It's not heroic. Go ahead.
yeah. And then my last question to you is, the best advice you've ever received.
Get over yourself. Right? We take ourselves so seriously.
Exactly.
And you know what? I've really found that, a lighthearted approach to life, it just makes it's like WD-40 for your life, right? It just
Mm-hmm.
smooths the path ahead of us.
Yeah, and instead of like trying to fight swimming upstream, just go with the flow.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You are so wise, Mama.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Stephanie. It was such an honor to have you on this week's podcast. All of her links are down below in the show notes. Don't be shy, go say hi, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for listening.